Welcome to the pop-up studio today, guys. It's nice to see you. I'm Alice.
And I'm Mari.
And Mari and I have worked together for, I don't know, too many years. I've been a teacher for 40 years. How long have you been in their sector?
30 odd years, yes.
I was Mari's lecturer at college. I was a young lecturer though, can I tell you. So today, Mari and I are a bit obsessed about things, aren't we? And we love...
I would say more so.
We love messy, manipulative materials that encourage our children to really stretch their own boundaries, I guess, Mari.
Yeah, and I think also that we like the unexpected to work in a different way.
And what we are talking about mostly is enriched provision. Like, we have all the normal, and we would encourage you to have all your continuous materials. So this is mark making. This is one of our mark making kits, that everything in this basket you can make a mark with.
Yeah, and my hands started to go because I want to get in there and find something.
And so normally, if you think about mark making, you would think about a pencil, a crayon, a paintbrush maybe, but we need to recognise and remember that our children are with us sometimes 5 days a week. Sometimes, Mari, they come in at
8 o'clock until 6
o'clock.
6 o'clock,
you know, so it could be 40 hours a week. So they're longer with us sometimes than they are with their parents or grandparents. And so just a plunger.
But actually, I was suddenly thinking about one of the children I've been working with who's still doing this with their pens and their crayons and so actually to physically use that and to be able to mark make with it would be fabulous for them.
I mean, today we're not using paint, but we'll use them all in another pop-up studio and talk about mark.
Now I believe this is a massager, which
I think it's for
is it for your face? Well, it shows you how much I use, because I do not like any sort of massage. Somebody touching your body, why would you want to do that? So if you've got some of these in the house, as I have, get them in the mark. Wow,
that's really slow.
Yeah, that's
it's not going in a straight line, Mari. It's almost going into itself.
Yeah, you think it's going to roll into each other.
That's kind of similar. So again, another massager. Oh, that one's not rolling. That one's not turned. But it turned there. Wow. Why is that? That's weird. So that's swinging though. But I wonder if you did it in slippy paint, because it does turn.
That is bizarre.
So it must be the surface. I wonder if you did it on sandpaper or you did it in gloop or something, whether it would... Well, it's kind of turning a wee bit once. Yeah. That's interesting. Sorry, I take your basket away from you. And these, so what... Oh. You know how one of our favourite activities is to put little dots on the floor or on tin foil or on paper, and then the children, we start to take the line, the dot for a walk, don't we, and cross and crisscross. But imagine
splat,
splat, mark making,
but also doing it on tinfoil paper. The difference of the movement of the mark is amazing as well.
What would you like one, Mari?
I think I'm going to take two just because I've got a chance. What these are?
Ravioli cutters.
Oh my golly, look at them. And there's a lovely heart-shaped one.
You get them in hundreds of shapes.
And this is much heavier than that one.
Is it?
Much heavier.
More metal, but
so so the shape and
so you would automatically think of them for Play-Doh, I guess, Mari, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But they would make lovely shapes, and then they could draw little messages in them or whatever. I've got this that you're supposed to clean your shirt with, but I don't like. I avoid.
You could get them with those cut out bits.
I cut them with
scissors.
So I've got hundreds of them, guys. That I avoid
doing the windows. So
cleaning the windows or cleaning the shower thing. And so this one looks like a castle. We've got zigzags. We've got, you could do
hundreds of wee cuts,
loads of them, and then see what happens.
Yeah.
And so the children can even do it themselves when they're capable, because they're easy to cut. They're really easy, rubbery to cut. And this one here, another massager, but that's not going to roll. But that would be lovely little dots.
It would,
wouldn't it?
And then
like
you could
fireworks
touch the
in the
dots again
sky
with your fingers.
And this one, Mari.
Do you notice though how Alice is really genuinely sharing the resources with me, because she is so kind?
So this one I've taken off the wheel. So this one, but again, that's actually tricky to because the wheel is angled. It's easy to do it. So I wonder why they created the angle like that. So this is for pottery, but there's lovely little, so I've taken that one off because that one is a different job to be done then than this. This is using my fingertips, because I think that's something that we talk about all the time.
And I'm just going to steal something because the basket's getting further and further
Well,
away
I'm taking
from
it
me.
out of people's view.
Oh, this is a bit boring.
No, it's not.
It is.
Hold
It's
it, hold it tight.
Oh, right.
Da, da, da.
Oh my golly, can
Imagine
you
splatting
imagine?
over there.
Oh.
Or even scooping the paint up
Yeah.
and then pouring it.
Or even
dribbling
taking it to a restaurant and taking somebody's ice cream. Oh, this is really tricky actually to get it to your mouth.
Your arms are really short.
Oh, I could just manage if
Yeah.
ice cream was involved.
And again, realistically, you can do anything. This one is supposed to catch your vegetables or your hair in the shower, but it pushing with both hands, I have to, because of that bilateral. So thinking about that, Mary, thinking about the handwriting and children picking a pencil up eventually and writing, but all of these fine motor skills, which have to be big motoring and then little motoring, but pincer, tripod, in-hand manipulation. So these all, I'm manipulating these as I manoeuvre.
Yeah.
And the grasping comes from the palm.
And actually my arm's aching now where I did that to try. So imagine how children feel, because
I can remember reading a paper years and years ago, guys. I read a paper and it talked about little children actually almost having pains running up here because they're doing this and this so often now. They're not manipulating the 70 muscles and the 70 muscles that they've got in their arms. And so these materials, I'm using each one of them differently.
Yeah, definitely.
And again, of course, we have pencils and crayons and pastels and paint brushes, or this one is a calligraphy brush. And that's even in itself is bendy in the handle and it's bobbly.
I'd love to see the marks that this one makes.
Yeah, and so you can do it with anything, and that there, and we've got a whole big set of mark makers as well. These are the kind of smaller.
And then we've also done a shadow experience, haven't we?
Yeah.
Where we've
you place them. Yeah. And then what do?
You take the picture of them,
mm-hmm.
and then, or draw around them
with
the children, whatever they fancy doing, and then it means that you can put them back where
they
you got them
belong
from.
somewhere. So that's a really good. Yeah. So we've done it with shadows. So we have drawn around them and then coloured them in black, and the children use them, wash them, dry them, and then put them back. So that's a foundational skill for life, really, isn't it?
Yeah, because then you always know where things are when you want them.
Yeah, so you could keep them like that for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then keep them in a basket, and then you could put them in. You could imagine wrapping each one of them up in crepe paper and putting it in the basket. So you're then saying, now which one do you think
is inside?
It is. So you've got total higher order thinking then, instead of just presenting things on a tabletop or in a basket. That's like our drawers. This is drawers of discovery, and we see loads of really good ideas on Pinterest or tough trees, etc. But it's presenting everything automatically to the children. Yeah. It's not giving them anything to discover. No. So sometimes I like to flip it a bit and see, well, actually, what's in
because everybody likes a present. They like to unwrap, and if you think about Piaget and his wrapping schema.
Well, did he do it often, Mary?
Just a few times.
He certainly wrote about it often. And so there's so many things. And it's not just that we would use these for mark making, we would use them for loads of different things. But we love using them for mark making.
And also I think as an adult, we've got this our brains are wired differently. When I first saw this, I thought, that's so boring. But actually, I'm going to put that in my bag after here and take it to lunch.
And so I suppose what we're inviting everybody to do is to look at mundane objects, objects that are just everyday, ordinary objects that we use for jobs, but to see the value and the benefit of introducing them to children. Now, it might be that the children don't like them. I have not met a child that doesn't like them yet, and they will surprise us about what they do with them as well. So make the mundane magical, guys. See you on the next pop-up.